Brand disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed by individuals on this platform, the callers plus invited guests, are their own. The information you hear does not reflect the overall views of all parties associated with this brand. We encourage everyone to research all things heard live or via archive for edification purposes. Discretion is advised.
Don't touch that dial. You're now listening to Debate Talk Free Radio.
Help keep the show on the air. If you want to help, you can send your donation through PayPal. The email is debatetalkforyou@gmail.com or through Cash App, $Sal Showtime. Thanks for your support.
All right, thank you, Sal, and thank you, Antoine, for reading for me. I decided to do this class because a lot of people who are already listening know that I did this on YouTube a few years back before my channel got terminated. And as you probably suspected, I got a lot of heat from the Hebrew Israelite community because, you know, there are racist Hebrew Israelites out there, and not all Hebrew Israelites are racist. I'm only talking about the racist ones. Well, these Hebrew Israelites teach that Esau or Edom is the so-called white man and the devil. And, of course, by teaching that he is the devil, they teach that there's no way that the white man, or Edom, as they call him, can be righteous or saved. So they teach that all white people are condemned to hell. So when I did my research on this particular person in the Bible, Job, I began to see that Job, first of all, was not, and I repeat, was not a Hebrew Israelite. And when you go to the Septuagint, in the back of the Septuagint, there's like what you call an appendix to the book of Job. And it tells you that Job was an Edomite. Now, there's a lot of Hebrew Israelite brothers that before this time period had no problem with the Septuagint. But once I pointed out, of course, that the Septuagint says that Job was an Edomite, of course they started all attacking the Septuagint and saying that, you know, you couldn't trust it or whatever. And they even did counter videos on YouTube in which they called me several racial slurs and other insults and just called me just flat out stupid and an Uncle Tom, but none of them could really refute the information that I was bringing in the video, proving that Job was an Edomite. And they even accused me of just simply saying, well, you only can prove that from the Septuagint. You take the Septuagint away, and you can't prove that. That's just something you saying. Well, sisters and brothers, I'm going to prove that Job was an Edomite exclusively from the Bible. Because by proving that Job was an Edomite, you put several false doctrines to rest. First of all, you show that there's no way that you can say that the so-called white man, even if he was actually Edom, which he isn't, but even if he was, there's no way you can say that he's the devil, because the Bible describes Job as one of the most righteous men that ever lived. And second of all, this will show you that God actually dealt with other people other than Israel before Israel became a nation. So what we're going to do is we're going to let the Bible interpret this. Of course, as usual, Sal is going to open up the phone at some point to take questions to this particular topic. But I'm not interested in anybody calling in telling me what they feel, because I'm all about the facts when it comes to the scripture. So don't call in saying, I believe Job was a Hebrew Israelite because only Hebrew Israelites were righteous and only God spoke with Israel. I'm not interested in that. What I want people to do who believe that this is incorrect, that I'm about to present, or that claim that they believe that Job was a Hebrew Israelite, to go in the scriptures and show me where it says he was, either by residence, by association. I don't accept any of that. But I'm going to show you that all of the evidence in the scriptures points toward Job being an Edomite, and nothing in the scriptures even hints that he was a Hebrew Israelite. He was an Edomite. All of it points toward him being an Edomite. So without further ado, we're going to get this first started in the book of Job, in Job chapter 1 and verse 1. And we're going to go step by step with this, so it can be no misunderstanding or anything. So Job 1 and 1. And let me know when you get there, Antoine.
I'm there.
Okay, we're going to read this one verse, Job 1 and 1. Go ahead and read.
There was a man in the land of Uz whose
in the land
name
of
was
where?
Job.
It said there was a man in the land of Uz. So already we know where Job resided, where he lived, in the land of Uz. Okay, go ahead.
Whose name was Job. And that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared God and eschewed evil.
Now, the first thing you should be asking yourself is, where is Uz? The second thing you should be asking yourself is, well, who was this Job? Because the first thing it lets you know is there was a man in the land of Uz. And ironically, the Bible tells you who lived in the land of Uz, whose region was that, whose province was that. Let's take a look at that. We're going to get right into it. Let's go to Lamentations chapter 4. And all we're doing, that's that little small book after Jeremiah. And all we're doing is letting the Bible tell us where everybody is, where who is, where what is. This is Lamentations 4. And see, people get mad when you tell the truth because a lot of people don't like the truth. But we're called absolute Bible truth. We got to tell you the truth or we won't be living up to our name. This is Lamentations 4. And we're going to read verses 19 to 21. Lamentations 4 and verses 19 to 21. You there, Antoine?
I'm there.
Read, please.
Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains and laid wait for us in the wilderness.
Okay, that's good. This is Israel talking about their persecutors, the people who persecuted them, particularly the kingdom of Judah, right? Jerusalem's inhabitants. So go ahead and read it.
The breath of our nostrils, the anointed of the Lord, was taken in their pits, of whom we said, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen.
Mm-hmm.
Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom.
Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. So we're talking about the Edomites. Where do they live?
That dwelleth in the land of Uz.
That dwelleth where? In the land of Uz. That is an Edomite country, sisters and brothers. That's an Edomite location. So you got people that say, well, Job, he was a Hebrew Israelite. Then why would a single Hebrew Israelite be living by himself as the only Hebrew Israelite among all these Edomites? It said, which dwelleth in the land of Uz. That's where Job lived. So even if you don't think he was an Edomite by blood, he was definitely an Edomite by residence. He was an Edomite citizen. But I'm going to prove to you more beyond a shadow of a doubt that he was not a Hebrew Israelite. Because everywhere else in the Bible where you read about somebody being a Hebrew Israelite and it tells you where they live, we all say, well, that's a Hebrew Israelite. You know, he's from the tribe of Dan. He lived in the region of Dan. He lived in the region of Judah. We all automatically assume that. But then when it comes to somebody who we don't want to accept that is a non-Hebrew Israelite, we start coming up with all these theories on how he could still be a Hebrew Israelite, though the scriptures clearly state that he lived among the Edomites. There is nothing in the Bible that says that Job was a Hebrew Israelite, migrated to Edom, set up shop there, and then that's how it went down. There is nothing in the Bible that says that. So if we take the Bible for face value, this man was an Edomite because he stayed in the land of Uz where all the other Edomites stayed. That's what the scriptures say, right? So finish that a little bit off, please.
The cup also shall pass through unto thee, and thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked. Because
of what they did to the Hebrew Israelites when they went into captivity to the Babylonians. There was a prophecy of punishment against them. He said he's going to get them for what they did. But Uz is an Edomite province, sisters and brothers, and you can look it up in any Bible dictionary. And it'll tell you that. So, Job was an Edomite. He dwelt in the land of Uz. He was an Edomite. But let me show you something else. Let's go back to Job chapter 1. Because we're going to let all the evidence just mount up into it that's undeniable. We're going to let all the evidence mount up. Just let it pile up. We're going back to Job chapter 1. We're going to be back and forth in the book of Job. We're going back to Job chapter 1. And this time we're going to pick it up at verse 2. Because it's amazing how upset people get and how gotten at me for simply reading scripture. I'm not twisting anything. This is plain to anybody who has eyes to see. But when you're blinded by racism and hate, you can't see the obvious. A man full of hate can't see the obvious. But I'm going to show you all the evidence just keeps piling up. That we're just showing this from the Bible. No Septuagint, no Apocrypha, just the Bible. For all my critics out there, well, you had to go to the Septuagint. We ain't going to go to the Septuagint. Strictly Bible, right? So this is Job chapter 1, and we're going to read verses 2 and 3. Go ahead and read, Antoine, please.
And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance was also 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels, and 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 she-asses, and a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all the men of the East.
It says, so that this man was the greatest of all the men of the East. What people don't realize is that the Hebrew Israelites referred to certain people as people or children of the East. And these people are readily and consistently identified in the Bible. See, people don't understand when it says the greatest of all the men of the East. What men of the East? And east of where? East of Israel, sisters and brothers. The Hebrew Israelites considered themselves to be a central location. That's why when you read in the Bible, you can read about people coming from the north, people coming from the south, people coming from the east, people coming from the west. If you consider yourself to be the central, then whoever is going to be to the east is going to be to the east of where you are. They say in Israel. So whenever you read about the people of the east or the children of the east in the Bible, you're talking about people to the east of Israel, or people to the north of Israel, or people to the south, and so on and so forth, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to identify in the Bible repeatedly who were considered to be the people or the children of the East. Because it said he was the greatest of all the men of the East, which means he lived among the men of the East, right? So what we're going to do first is we're going to go to the book of Judges. We're going to Judges chapter 6. This information is undeniable. Some of the things that people turn into a debate really aren't debatable. People just debate it because if they admit that it's true, it destroys their theology. And a lot of people can't accept that. So they'll sit up here and they'll make up all kinds of excuses, and they'll come up with all kinds of scenarios to try to debunk what you're saying. But the listening audience who's on the outside looking in can see everything. This is why whenever I come on Sal Show to debate, I always tell people the information I'm bringing is never for my opponent, because I don't expect them to accept it. It's for the listening audience, because I know in my heart that there are unbiased listeners out there who are only interested in the truth. Then I know there are some people out there that no matter what you show them, they're going to continue to believe and teach what they've been taught. I know that. But there are some unbiased people out here who's going to tune in, and they're going to take the truth of this information, and they're going to apply it. These are the people I'm interested in. If you already got your mind made up that no matter what you hear, you're going to believe whatever you want to believe, then I don't even understand why you would tune in to Sal Show and listen to me in the first place. Right? But this is Judges chapter 6, and we're going to read verses 1 to 3. Now, check this out. We're identifying the children or the people of the East. Look what it says. Go ahead and read.
All right, Judges 6. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord delivered them into the hands of Midian 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the hand of Midian prevailed against Israel. And because of the Midianites, the children of Israel made them the dens which are in the mountains, and caves, and strongholds. And so it was, when Israel had sown, that the Midianites came up.
The Midianites? Who came up? The Midianites, who else?
And the Amalekites, and the children of the east. Even they came up against them.
So who are the children of the east, sisters and brothers? The Midianites and the Amalekites. They are among the children of the east. And you can look this up in any Bible dictionary, any concordance or whatever, and it'll confirm this. Well, who were the Midianites? Well, the Midianites were descendants of Abraham through his wife Keturah. But who were the Amalekites? They were descendants of Esau through his grandson Amalek. So these are Edomites and Midianites that you're reading about. They are the children of the east. Now, do you think it's a coincidence that we read in the book of Job that he was from the land of Uz? And we go to Lamentations and we find that Uz is where the Edomites stay. Then you go back to Job and it says he's the greatest of all the men of the east. And then we go to Judges and we read about men of the east, and the first people we run across are Edomites and Midianites. Is all this just a coincidence, sisters and brothers? No. I'm going to show you that the children of the east consisted of Amalekites, Midianites, and even Ishmaelites. These are the children of the east. The children of Israel never referred to themselves as the children of the east or the people of the east. They were in the central location, Israel, and they considered everybody, depending on what direction they were in relation to them, to be of the east, of the north, of the south, or the west. So the children of the east, sisters and brothers, are the Midianites and the Amalekites in this verse. And we're going to see that again. Skip down to verse 33 and read.
Judges 6 and 33. Then all the Midianites and the Amalekites and the children of the east were gathered together and went over and pitched in the valley of Jezreel.
He said, then all the Midianites and the Amalekites and the children of the east. Why did it say Midianites, Amalekites, and children of the east? Because the Midianites and the Amalekites are particularly the children of the east that you're reading about here. Them, the Amalekites, and everybody else are the children of the east. This is what these people were identified as. So we see that Edomites and Midianites are among the children of the east. And like I said, when you go back to Lamentations, it lets you know that Uz is in Edom province. It said they dwell in the land of Uz. So if they dwell in the land of Uz, and that's where Job lived, Job was an Edomite. It's plain and simple. You can go to the Bible right now and read about Elijah the Tishbite. It don't say Elijah the Tishbite from whatever tribe. It don't say Elijah from whatever province in Israel. It just say Elijah the Tishbite. Yet we all know that he was a Hebrew Israelite. Why? Because of where he lived. And unless we can read somewhere where it says that he wasn't an Israelite and came and lived among the Israelites, then we have to accept that he was the Israelite. So how come when it comes to Job, we want to come up with all these excuses and all these scenarios why he couldn't be an Edomite when the Bible plainly says that's where he lived. He lived in Edom. Edom dwelled in Uz. It tells you that. That's an Edomite prophet. So he was an Edomite, sisters and brothers. But we're going to continue to show you about these children of the east. Like I said, we're letting all the evidence come together. Where he lived, who they were called in the Bible by the children of Israel, all of that. What was associated with these people, his friends who came to visit him when he was being persecuted, all of this is going to be key in defining and identifying what Job was. There is nothing in the Bible that suggests that he's a Hebrew Israelite. You got the Hebrew Israelites that try to teach, well, a Hebrew Israelite means anybody that obey God. They haven't even gone as far as making Adam a Hebrew Israelite. Sounds nice, but not in the book. That's your little philosophy. I don't ascribe to your philosophy. Israel came much later than Adam. Abraham was not an Israelite. Isaac was not an Israelite. Jacob was not even an Israelite. Jacob name was changed to Israel, and all of his descendants were Israelites. So don't let somebody come along and try to hit you with this old bogus philosophy about, well, the Hebrew Israelites are anybody who obey God. Don't say that in the Bible. It does not say that anywhere. This is some of the stuff that they came at me with on YouTube when I had this video up. This is some of the stuff these Hebrew Israelites try to come up with. But I know in my heart that a lot of y'all out there are more clever than that. Don't let any prejudice or any preconceived ideas cloud you to the truth. And all of this evidence is showing this. The children of the East were Edomites, Arabs, and Midianites. And we're going to see that time and time again. But now, still in the book of Judges, turn over to chapter 8. You can't deny the obvious, sisters and brothers. The reason why these brothers don't want this to get out, the reason why they don't want you to believe this or to know this information is because it completely destroys their doctrine that Esau is the devil. Because there's no way you can tell me that Esau, every descendant of him, is the devil if Job was an Edomite. There's no way. So they started going into all these genealogies. They looked up everywhere the name Job appeared in the Bible. They even went over like the Genesis, I think it's Genesis 46, where I read about one of Issachar's descendants being named Job. This is why they was in Egypt, though. And they tried to make him be the Job. So they tried to say that this Job, who's a descendant of Issachar in Genesis 46, just up to the left. All the other tribes of Israel left from Egypt, went over to Egypt, went into the heart of the enemy's land, because everybody know that Edom and Israel were fierce enemies. He just went to the heart of Edom and just set up shop and became a great man. He did his own self-exodus. He didn't leave all the other children of Israel behind. You can't read that anywhere in the Bible. But that's the type of stuff that they come up with. They have to make up something because they know you have them on the ropes with this truth. So they get mad and they curse you out. They'll leave all kinds of ugly messages on your channel. They'll talk about you like a dog on Facebook, but the only thing you're doing is just reading the Bible. Why does that upset them so much? Because they know that the truth about what they're doing is being exposed. They can't hide it anymore. That's why I thank God for Sal Show, because you reach so many people in one shot. But this is Judges chapter 8. And we're going to read verse 1, and then we're going to skip. Judges 8 and 1. Go ahead and read.
And the men of Ephraim said unto him, Why hast thou served us thus, that thou callest us not, when thou wentest to fight with the Midianites? And they did chide with him sharply.
So we know that we're talking about the Midianites here. This is when Gideon went to fight, right? We're talking about the Midianites. We're talking particularly about the Midianites, right? Now, watch what he calls Midianites in the later verses. Skip down to verse 10 and read.
Now, Zebah and Zalmunna were in Karkor, and their hosts with them, about 15,000 men, all that were left of all the hosts of the children of the east.
All that were left of all the hosts of the children of the east. Again, proving to you that the Midianites, along with the Amalekites, who were Edomites, were called the children of the east, which means the people of the east. And it said Job was the greatest of the people of the east, living in the land of Uz, which was an Edomite province in the land of the people of the east. Again, showing you that the Midianites were people of the east. And since it mentioned Amalekite along with them in the earlier chapters, we know that it also means that Amalekites were children of the east too. East of what? East of Israel, sisters and brothers. But keep reading.
For there fell 120,000 men that drew sword.
Mm-hmm.
And Gideon went up by the way of them that dwell in the tents of the east of Nobah and of Jogbehah, and smote the host, for the host was secure.
Mm-hmm.
And when Zebah and Zalmunna fled, he pursued after them and took the two kings of Midian, Zebah and Zalmunna, and discomfited all the host.
So we know that Zebah and Zalmunna were kings of Midian. And again, the Midianites were descendants of Abraham through his wife Keturah. But the Hebrew Israelites called anybody who stayed to the east of them the people or the men or the children of the east. And we see that the Midianites so far and the Edomites fell into that category. This is why when you read the book of Job, it tells you he lived in the land of Uz. And we go to Lamentations, and we see that that's in Edom. And then you keep reading in Job, and it tells you the greatest of the men of the East. And then you go to other places in the Bible, and you see that the men of the East is made up of Amalekites and Midianites. So some of y'all might say, well, how do you know Job wasn't a Midianite or an Arab? Because it said he stayed in the land of Uz. He gave you a specific location, the land of Uz. That was an Edomite province. Now, if it would name some of these other places that you're reading about where the Midianites say, and some of the other places we're going to read about where the Arabs or the Ishmaelites say, then you can say, well, he could have been one of them. But since he gave you Uz, that's a dead giveaway what he was. But even if you don't want to believe that he was an Edomite, you have to concede that he was not a Hebrew Israelite, which means that people other than Hebrew Israelites can be considered righteous and therefore be saved. So you're tearing down a lot of false doctrine no matter which avenue you try to take. You're tearing down a lot of false doctrine. But we know he was an Edomite because he said he stayed in the land of Uz, and that's where the Edomites stayed. And it don't say anything in the book of Job about him moving from Israel and dwelling in Edom. That's some old nonsense they come up with to try to get away from the obvious. But y'all are smarter than that. I hope y'all are smarter than that. I know some of you are, but sometimes when you want to believe something so strongly, you'll accept an interpretation like that. But the cat's out the bag now, sisters and brothers. They tried to censor this years ago when I came out on YouTube with it. My whole channel got terminated. The video went down. All seemed to be lost. People were emailing me and hitting me up online on my new YouTube channel. Hey, what's the Joel was the Edomite video? You don't ever upload that again? In due time is what I used to tell them. But see, now God works in mysterious ways, and now he's letting it come out yet again, stronger and into a wider audience. So this truth is getting out. But let's move on. Let's go to Jeremiah. Let's go to the prophets. People love making up excuses, don't they, Antoine? They love doing it.
All the time.
They'll do it in a minute. Oh, man, you're Uncle Tom. Calling me Uncle Tom because I'm teaching the truth? That's what they do. They hit you with insults. They don't try to sit down and say, let's reason this out, because they know there is absolutely nothing in the Bible that they can use to substantiate Job being a Hebrew Israelite. Nothing at all, except for their philosophy that only Israel can be saved. If that's your philosophy, then, of course, nobody can beat you. Nobody can take that away from you. I can't beat you. Nobody can. But if you're going to sit down and go in this book and let the book tell us who's who and what's what, then I'll crush you every time in this particular topic, because the Bible is clear on who is the children of the East. And the Hebrew Israelites are not the children of the East, unless you read about another nation and Israel is east to them. That's the only time the children of Israel will be the children of the East. This is Jeremiah chapter 49. We don't see the Midianites, which were, descendants of Abraham. We don't see the Amalekites, which were Edomites. Now let's deal with some Ishmaelites here. This is Jeremiah 49. We're going to read one verse. This is verse 28. Jeremiah 49 and 28. Go ahead and read. This is a prophecy against Kedar. Go ahead.
Jeremiah 49:28. Concerning Kedar and concerning the kingdom of Hazor, which
now wait a minute. It says concerning Kedar. For all of y'all who didn't know, Kedar is one of the 12 sons of Ishmael. Uh-huh. So this is a prophecy against a tribe of Ishmael. Kedar, you can look it up. He's one of the sons of Ishmael. Continue, please.
And concerning the kingdoms of Hazor, which Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, shall smite, thus saith the Lord. Arise ye, go up to Kedar, and spoil the men of the east.
What did he call them?
The men of the East.
The men of the East. Why is it that every time you read in your Bible about the children of the East, the men of the East, or the people of the East, it always means somebody other than the Hebrew Israelites? Always. So how come when it comes to Job, mysteriously, it's talking about a Hebrew Israelite now? This is the type of stuff that they do. This is why so many of them cannot stand ABT. Because we make it real hard to lie. We make it really hard to teach false doctrine. I had somebody on Facebook ask me before I even did this class. They posted earlier today. They said, is this class going to be for edification, or is it just going to be something going to have to make somebody defend what they teach? I told them to listen in, and then you tell me. Because they want to know, what does this got to do with salvation? Is this conducive to salvation? Well, let me ask you this, just in case you may be listening. If you are teaching a damnable heresy, does that affect your salvation? Let me ask you that, Antoine. If you're teaching a damnable heresy, would that put your salvation in danger?
Sure would.
It sure would. So by you showing people that Job was an Edomite or even just a non-Hebrew, this completely destroys two doctrines. One, that Esau is the devil and condemned to go to hell, every last one of them. And two, that only Hebrew Israelites can be saved. Because I know there is no Hebrew Israelite that's crazy enough to jump up and claim that Job went to hell, or that Job's going to hell, or that Job was condemned. There's none of them that's going to be crazy enough to jump up and claim that. So they'll try to do stuff like that. They'll go to Job 30:30. See, my skin is black upon me. See, Esau the white man. There's no way he could have been an Edomite because it says he was black. First of all, if you read Job 30 and 30 in context, he wasn't making a proclamation about his skin as far as what race he is. He was mourning, and he was describing all the pain and ailments he was going through. And in the midst of that mourning, he commented on his skin, saying, my skin is black upon me, and my bones burn with heat. He wasn't saying that my skin is black like under normal conditions, even though I can prove you that Job was a man of color. He was a black man, but Job 30:30 is not saying that he was just describing his skin color. Think about it. Job is suffering. He's going through turmoil. Why don't he just jump out and say, oh, by the way, I'm a black man? That doesn't make any sense. Go back and read in Job chapter 2, where it's going to describe him having boils from the sole of his feet to the crown of his head, and how he had to scrape that stuff off of him. That black that you read about in Job 30:30 is referring to that turmoil he was going through on account of that. If you don't believe me, go and read Job 30 in its entire context, and you'll see. Like I said, I believe and can prove that Job was a black man. I can prove that. But Job 30:30 ain't got nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it.
That's my whole point. So what I'm telling y'all is that based on what we're reading here in the scriptures, the Bible is clear that the children of the East is always referring to non-Hebrew Israelites that live to the east of them. And those people are identified in the Bible to always be either Edomites, Midianites, or Ishmaelites. So Job would have to fall into the category of one of these nationalities and not a Hebrew Israelite. So how do we know which one he was? Because you go and see where he was living, and then you go and you look at who lives there, and you get Edom. That's how we know he was an Edomite. Other than that, anything else is speculation. Anything else is what you want to be true. It's not about what I want to be true or what you want to be true. It's what your Bible is telling you. The people of the East are not Hebrew Israelites, sisters and brothers. When the Hebrew Israelites wrote about geography and stuff like that and direction, they meant in relation to where they live. If I say somebody is to the east, that means they're to the east of this apartment that I'm living in. Unless I give you a specific location where else. I might say, where they're to the east of Decatur, or they're to the east of Chicago. And then you identify Chicago, and then you go east from there, and you got an idea of where these people are. But when the Hebrew Israelites talk about the children and the people and all those other people of the east and all that stuff, they meant in relation to the land of Israel, to the east of Israel. And when you look this up, you will see that the Ishmaelites the Arabs and the Edomites live like to the east, or some people say to the northeast of Israel, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's continue. Let's go to 1 Kings. Sal, do we have anybody in question right now?
No, you're good right now. You still actually?
Okay.
Oh, okay. Somebody just pressed number 1 just now. Somebody just pressed number 1.
Okay.
Let me know whenever you want to take questions.
I'm ready right now.
All right, guys. Once again, this is your time right now. The number is 877-280-9681. That's 877-280-9681. If you have any questions, make sure you press the number 1, and I'll add you into the conversation. Let's go to the first person with a question here. 404-993. You're live on Debate Talk for You. You have a question or a comment?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey, what's going
Can
on?
you
How
hear
you
me?
doing?
Yeah, I can hear you.
This is Mr. DeAndre. How you doing, sir? How you doing, Josh? How you doing, Antoine?
How you doing,
Andre?
Mr. DeAndre?
Hey, I got a challenge for Brother Josh right now on Debate Talk for You.
Okay.
I'm posing a challenge for you, Josh. You accept my challenge?
About what? I got to make sure I know it's something that, we teach that's different. What's the challenge?
My challenge is for you to continue to open a 12-pack of truth on Debate Talk for You, and you keep doing. That's my challenge to Brother Josh and ABT, my brothers in the truth, because it's appalling for me and for you and for all folks that love truth to hear these some of the so-called Hebrew Israelites that want to teach hate and racism and all this foolishness, but yet say they come in the name of the Most High God.
Mm-hmm.
And when you come and you deal with a class of this magnitude, and you show without a shadow of a doubt that Job was in fact the Edomite, and they uphold him as an Israelite, that shows that, hey, not only can other people be saved, but that Edomite that you said was damned to hell, Job is an Edomite, so I guess he's damned to hell too. The perfect and upright man that is sure of evil.
Mm-hmm.
So, brother, my challenge is continue to open a 12-pack. And if you get somebody to call in with something stupid, open another 12-pack, give them a whole 24. Peace in Jesus' name.
Thanks a lot, my brother. Appreciate that.
Well, I definitely will try to step to that challenge right there. I can assure you that. Is there anybody else?
Yeah, I have another person here. Once again, if you have any questions or comments, this is your time. If you have any questions, the number is 877-280-9681. That's 877-280-9681. I do this show for the people out there, so if you have any questions or comments, feel free to press the number 1. There's a lot of people tuning in. I see on the switchboard, so let's go to the next person. 210-551. You're live on Debate Talk for You. You have any questions or comments?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Y'all doing a good job. I have a question, though. The situation with Abraham, 2 kids, Ishmael going his way and then his other son staying with him. And, I want to know after they was sent away and God had said something, the angel said something to him about all nations' hands will be against you or something like that. I don't know for sure how it all went down. But are those people, are they cursed or are they still blessed under the same blessing as the son that stayed with Abraham?
Well, the Bible tells you that the covenant he established with Isaac, and he promised, the story you're talking about is when Hagar was sent away by Abraham at the instructions of his wife, Sarah. And when they was in the wilderness and all their provisions were spent, an angel came to Hagar, and he directed to her where they could find water for herself and for her child, Ishmael. And the only thing it said was that he was going to be a great nation, and he was going to be a wild man. And every man was going to be against him, and he was going to be against every man, right? And that's still true to this day because, that's why you got all this conflict over and that's what we call it, too, the Middle East. Isn't that funny? We call it the Middle East, right? Yep. And all this conflict is still going on. But it doesn't speak anything about a curse being put on Ishmael at all. It just gave a prophecy of him being a great nation, which means he's going to be a big nation, a large multitude of people going to make up that nation, and that he was going to be a wild man. Some translations say a wild donkey of a man. So that's all I said.
Right. So let me ask you this. Okay, so that's not necessarily saying a curse, but when he was saying that, like, nations will be against you, or, that part right there, what do that mean? Or you'll be against other nations and they'll be against you or whatever?
That means you're going to be constantly fighting. You're going to be constantly in conflict with people. That's what that means.
Oh, okay. So the other ones that stayed with Abraham, his offspring, okay, now, who are they today? And I guess they're the blessed ones, right? I mean, I don't know.
But after they sinned against God, they became cursed. Their offspring today are the majority or a great deal of who we know as the so-called Negro or black people.
Really?
Yes. Yes, and there are a lot of people who I'm pretty sure that's listening that is more than willing to prove that to you. I'm pretty sure they can. But that's another lesson in of itself.
Okay. Thank you. You answered my questions pretty much. I just have to do more research and find out the other things I want to know. But I appreciate you, man. I like this topic. I always wondered about that.
Praise God. Thanks for calling.
Praise God.
Appreciate your call, brother. Appreciate your call. And like I said, feel free to call in. The show is for you. That's why the show is called Debate Talk for You. The number is 877-280-9681. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to press number 1. And, of course, I'll add you to the conversation. If you have another question here or comment, let's see. 708-705. You're live on Debate Talk for You. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. I have a little noise in the background, though. I can hear you now, though. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. How you doing?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. Go ahead. Yeah, I can hear you, brother. Go ahead. You're live on the air.
Yeah, I got a question. Can everybody hear me? Can Brother Josh hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
All right, my question is, in Matthew, I think it was Matthew 10:4, where it says Simon, he was a Canaanite. Now, how do people view that? Or do they really believe he was a Canaanite or what?
Well, see, in other translations, if you say Matthew 10, you got other translations that actually translate it as the zealot. So not a Canaanite by by blood or a Canaanite by residence. That's actually what you call a poor translation. If you look at other gospels, they actually translate it as Simon the Zealot, and the Zealots were a group of people that were opposing the Roman government.
Oh, okay.
So he was a Hebrew Israelite. This Simon that it's talking about, he was a zealot. Group of Hebrew Israelite, group of rebels, that opposed, because the Romans were ruling over Israel during that time in history. And let me see if I can find that for you so you can just have a reference. That I don't just want to tell you that. I like to try to lead people with the actual place where I can find. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Let me see. I should be able to find it in a second. Let's see. Here we go. Let me get this crap out my way. Let's see.
And once again, the number is 877-280-9681. That's 877-280-9681. If anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to call in. The number is 877-280-9681. The title of this lesson is called Job Was an Edomite Proven from the Bible. My special guest is Brother Josh and Brother Antoine. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to give you 2 places. First of all, if you go to Matthew chapter 20, let me show you what you're going to look up here. Let me give you this, because I looked at this before. If you go to Matthew chapter 10 and verse 4, that's what you're looking for. It says Canaanite. Look what it says. Zealous, like zealous. Canaanite, an epithet, meaning like a nickname. It says by mistake for a derivative from 5477 Canaanite. So it don't mean Canaanite like a blood descendant of the children of Canaan. That's why the word means zealous. You follow what I'm saying? Then when you move down and you go to the book of Mark, right? Let me find this for you. I just had it. It may be Luke. Let me see. Here you go. I'm sorry. Luke chapter 6 and 15, it reads, Matthew and Thomas, James the son of Alphas, and Simon called zealots. You follow what I'm saying? A zealot.
That's
so,
Luke what?
6 and 15.
Okay, I'm going to that.
So it even tells you when you look it up in the Strong's that it doesn't mean Canaanite as a blood descendant. Simon the Zealot is a more accurate translation, and in the modern translation, that's what it has. So he was a zealot. He was a Hebrew Israelite. He was like the part of the Black Panther version of the Hebrew Israelites. You follow what I'm saying? Like trying to rebel against the Roman government.
Right. Okay. I just want to, so I don't be rude, man. My name is Brother Marcel. I appreciate what you guys doing, man. Y'all ABT going hard. Matter of fact, I left that on y'all wall, man. Y'all doing your thing out there. So, man, I applaud you, brother. I salute you, man. Keep doing your thing, man.
Praise God. Thanks for calling.
All right. Thanks for your call, my brother. And once again, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to call in. You know the number, 877-280-9681. It's a toll-free number. Feel free to call in. Any questions or comments, just press number 1, and I'll join the conversation. All right, so far the switchboard is clear of questions, so Brother Josh, you can go ahead.
Okay, let's keep this, I guess what he called it, this 12-pack. Let's keep opening this 12-pack. Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 4. Because like I was saying, man, I mean, this stuff, if you really hunger for truth, it's there. But you got to stop letting your emotions guide you. You got to let the Holy Spirit guide you. And this information is here. The children of the East were non-Hebrew Israelites. Job was a non-Hebrew Israelite, specifically an Edomite. That's what he was. That's where he lived. He was part of the children of the East. And if you don't even want to believe he's an Edomite, then you're going to have to make him either a Midianite or an Arab. But he was not a Hebrew Israelite. There is nothing in the Bible that suggests or even hints that. Even when you try to do what they do and just find a Job anywhere who's a descendant of Israel and try to make him be the Job mentioned in the book of Job, if you look at any Bible dictionary, it'll tell you those are two separate Jobs. It'll tell you that. So you can just tell by where that person lived and where they came from that they're not the same Job. Job was an Edomite, and we're proving this, but this is 1 Kings chapter 4. Now we're going to deal with the wisdom of the children of the East, because a lot of people don't know that the children of the East were known for having great wisdom. This is something they were known for. So this is 1 Kings chapter 4.
Yeah, just to let you know, Brother Josh, got another question in queue whenever you're ready.
Okay, let's get through this first. 1 Kings chapter 4 and verse 30. Okay, go ahead and read that, Antoine.
Brother Antoine?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, 1 Kings chapter 4, verse 30.
Okay. And Solomon's wisdom excelled all the wisdom of the children of the East country and all the wisdom of Egypt.
Now, notice it went out of its way to let you know that Solomon's wisdom excelled all the wisdom of the East country and all the wisdom of Egypt. Why would it mention that? Because the children of the East and the people in Egypt were known for having great wisdom. So to let you know how wise Solomon was, it compared him to people who was known for having great wisdom. But now, let me show you something else. Let's go to Jeremiah 49. Let's see what Edom was known for. Because remember, Edom is one of the children of the East. I'm going to show you that even when the prophets were denouncing the nation of Edom, they had to acknowledge that these people were wise. Because wisdom was in the East. All of the ancients do that. Even when Jesus was born, it said there came wise men or magi from the East. From the East. Wisdom was always known to be in the East in ancient times and in Egypt. This is Jeremiah 49, and we're going to read verse 7. This is a condemnation of Edom. Watch what it says. Go ahead.
Concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudence? Is their wisdom vanished?
Now, why is it asking you anything about the wisdom in Edom? Because God is trying to let you know, as wise as these people are, I'm still going to destroy them. Their wisdom cannot save them from my judgment. But even in the condemnation of Edom, the prophets still had to acknowledge that these are wise people. They got wisdom. They're very wise, right? Edom was known for his wisdom. All the children of the east were known for his wisdom. That's why I said Solomon's wisdom excelled even theirs. And as you know, Solomon had to be pretty wise, right? But check this out. Now let's go to Obadiah. And then after this, I'll take that question on, Sal, if that's okay. We're going to go to Obadiah. Another condemnation of Edom, but yet still got to acknowledge the wisdom. Obadiah. What we're going to do, we're going to read verse 6, and then we're going to skip. Obadiah is only one chapter, and verse 6. Go ahead and read.
Obadiah, verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?
Now, you know, I just read this so you can know this is talking about Esau or the Edomites, right? Now, watch what it says. Skip down to verse 8 and read.
Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and understanding out of the mount of Esau?
Why does it keep talking about the wisdom of Esau almost in every major prophecy concerning him? Because Esau was among the children of the East. He was among the children of the East, and they were known for having wisdom. But the Most High was letting them know that their wisdom could not save you from my coming judgment. You are still going to be judged and condemned for your wickedness. Again, linking the connection of the children of the East with Edom and the wisdom that goes with that. But Carl will answer that one.
All right, let's go to the phone lines to see 347-276. You're live on Debate Talk for You. You have a question or comment?
Peace, Brother Sal. This is Raheem. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Raheem? How you doing?
What's going on? Peace to Josh. I wanted to ask him, he said there's two Jobs. I basically have one which says out the Eastern Bible, the dictionary, it says he was Arabian. Now, as I understand it, also with this map, the map according to the Hebrews, where Edom is basically there near the Sinai and close to Arabia, and anything past Egypt, and anything past Egypt where they're supposed to have crossed over when Moses saved them in the Exodus, and right to Mount Sinai going over is all Arabia. Now, is you talking about that one?
So what?
Are you talking about that Job?
Yes, that Job. Matter of fact, cool. I'm glad you brought that up, Raheem, because if you look up us in the any Bible dictionary, it tells you it's identified with areas in Arabia. So us is in Arabia among them Arabs, because I said the children of the East. They all dwelt in that area. But us specifically in Arabia or near Arabia was an Edomite province. But the Job, there's also a Job mentioned in Genesis 46 who's of the tribe of Issachar.
Right. All right. Because the Eastern Bible Dictionary says this: Job, an Arabian patriarch who resided in the land of Uz. While living in the midst of great prosperity, he was suddenly overwhelmed by a series of sore trials that fell upon him. That's the Job where he was. The Satan said, let me curse him, and God said, okay, go ahead, and then he got blessed. Okay, because you had a debate. I don't know who it was with. You had a debate with. I think it was Salazar. He said the Edomites are the Caucasians, and that's not true. And then you showed
by the location alone.
Right, and then you showed them where they're not supposed to be harmed, and yet you're still saying they're the devils and they're white and they're cursed. So that's all I wanted to clear up. So we're on the right track. So thanks for that.
All right, and I appreciate that, Raheem, because what you just did, you just saved me the time of looking it up in my Bible dictionary, and you saved the listening audience time, even though I still advise them to go back and look in their own dictionaries. When it says he stayed in Arabia, that's the modern-day name for where Uz is located, because that's all over there in the east of Palestine, or modern-day Israel. So Job was living among Arabs, Midianites, and Edomite. So I appreciate that, Raheem. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Peace. Peace out.
Thanks for your call, brother. And once again, anybody want to call in, the number is 877-280-9681. That's 877-280-9681. Just press number 1, and, of course, I'll add you into the conversation. I don't see any more questions on the queue, so you can go ahead, Brother Josh.
All right, thanks, Sal. And thanks again, Raheem, because he just cleared up yet another misconception. Because if you notice, every time Edom is identified in the scriptures, his location, it always lands him over there near the Arabs and the Midianites. It always lands him over there near that. Now, all of a sudden, they want to make Edom be Europeans. You follow what I'm saying? I don't see how you can do that when Edom is the descendant of Shem, just like Israel. But, they get all this stuff about how he was born white. They say he was red and hairy. The Bible doesn't say Esau was red and hairy. And in another lesson, I can show y'all that Esau is not the white man. That is yet another lie that these people are teaching y'all. And as y'all can see, when the facts are put on the table, nobody is brave enough to try to call in and refute the facts. Yeah, they'll stand on their street corners, they'll talk a big game, and they'll come on your YouTube channel and they'll leave derogatory comments, but on a live debate where you really have to go in the book and prove what you're saying, they on hush mouth. They silent. That's why I can come on Sal Show and do all these topics that blatantly go against what they teach, and they don't call in, even though I know they're listening, because they know I'm telling the truth. So if you know I'm telling the truth, why fight me? Join me. Help me to wake up other people. That's what Antoine did. Come on from other people. Help me to reach the other people who are lost. Even Raheem is calling in and showing that, hey, ain't no way in the world Job could be a Hebrew Israelite just based on when you look it up. He just picked a random dictionary. I don't have that dictionary. I got 2 Bible dictionaries. I don't have that one. But it says the same thing pretty much that mine says. He was not a Hebrew Israelite. He stayed in what we know today near or around what we know today as Arabia. That's what Uz was, sisters and brothers. But let's move on. Y'all get it. Let's go to Job 28. Because y'all noticed, y'all noticed that wisdom was associated with the children of the East. We saw that in 1 Kings. We saw that in Jeremiah. And we also saw that in Obadiah. Dealing with Edom, it mentioned the wisdom of Edom as it was being condemned. So what that would mean, sisters and brothers, if Job really was one of the children of the East and wisdom is associated with the children of the East, then we should be able to find references to wisdom all throughout Job's book, because that's what they were big on. They were big on wisdom. So the question is, can we find that? What do y'all think? Let's look it up and see. Let's go to Job chapter 28. It's real simple, Antoine, if they just want to see it, isn't it, man?
Very simple.
Real simple. But yet you're going to still have some fool that's going to email Sal or email me mad. Mad about what? Because I'm teaching out the book you claim you believe in? Because I'm putting it out there exactly as it is? See, a lot of these elders don't like me because their members go back and they question them about this stuff that I'm putting out. And when they can't answer it, it makes them look bad, so they get mad at me. And they come on my channel, and they come on the Facebook wall. They leave all these crazy messages making fun of me, calling me all of my names. I don't call anybody out their name. I just teach. You follow what I'm saying? I have mentioned names, but I don't call anybody out of their name. But they'll come on there and tell you that you a coon or you a nigger. And these coming from black people, other black people. And then they say, we can't stand the white man. Why can't you stand the white man? Because he oppressed us. He called us all these racial slurs, and you turn around and do it to me, another black man. But you can't stand the white man for doing it to us, and then you turn around and do it to another brother. The book of Proverbs says, envy not the oppressor and learn none of his ways. At one time in history, the white man was our oppressor. So, number one, you don't supposed to be jealous of the white man. And number two, you don't supposed to learn any of his ways. That's what it says in Proverbs. Don't envy your oppressor and learn none of his ways. So when I go on my channel and I see other black men in a derogatory way, not as a term of endearment, but in a derogatory way, calling me a coon and a nigger, you know what that means? They have envied the oppressor and they have learned his ways. But they don't think about stuff like that. They have the nerve to turn around and call you Uncle Tom. Don't you know that the original Uncle Toms were the first people that started calling other black people derogatory racial slurs because they felt they were just like the white man and they had the right to talk down on other black people. Go back and read a slave narrative and read about the house Negroes. Read about them. They were the people who first started calling other slaves derogatory racial slurs because they felt they were above the other slaves and they were close to the level, not quite there, but close to the level of the so-called white man, so they started calling other black people the same derogatory names that the slave master called them. And that's exactly what these black Hebrews do, the racist ones. Y'all know I'm not lying. So who's the real Uncle Tom, Antoine? You got to think about it. And for the record, I have another class that I'm going to do in Season 3, because Season 2 pretty much over with. In Season 3, I'm going to show you that one of the main reasons why Israel went into captivity was for being racist. They'll never tell you that. That's one of the main reasons Israel went into captivity, for being racist against non-Hebrew Israelites that would stand among them. So God said, I'm going to put you in captivity and let the same thing happen to you.
Yep.
But let's move on. Job 28. That's for a later show, though. I can't give it all to y'all in one show. Job 28. And I want you to start reading at verse 12. Do that, please. Let's hear about this wisdom. Go ahead.
Job 28:12. But where shall wisdom be found, and where is the place of understanding?
Now, why is Job even obsessed with where wisdom comes from, or where understanding comes from? Antoine, why is Job obsessed with where wisdom comes from?
He's one of the children of the East, and that's what they know.
He's one of the children of the East, and they big on wisdom.
Yep.
That's why he got entire sections in his Bible, and not just Job, because in case you didn't know, Job is not the only person that speaks in the book of Job. His three friends are speaking too, and they all talk about wisdom, because they all children of the East. But go ahead and read.
Man knoweth not the price thereof, neither is it found in the land of the living.
Mm-hmm.
The depth saith, it is not in me, and the sea saith, it is not with me.
Mm-hmm.
It cannot be gotten for gold, neither shall silver be weighed for the price thereof.
Okay, that's good. And you can go back and read all of Job 28 on your own time. I just wanted to kind of get you started so you can see. And it's all through the book of Job. Just start at Job chapter 2 and read, and you'll immediately start reading about wisdom before you know it. All three of his friends talk about wisdom. Why are all these people so big on wisdom and understanding? Because that's what the children of the East were known for, to such a degree that even when the prophets were condemning the children of the East, like the Edomites and the Canaanites, or who were Ishmaelites, it mentioned their wisdom. It mentioned their wisdom, because the children of the East are big on wisdom, and you just happen to go to Job, and you're reading about wisdom. So let's see what we got so far, right? We got Job living in the land of Uz. We go to the scriptures and find out that Uz is an Edomite region, which would make Job an Edomite. Then we see that he's called the greatest of the men of the East. And we went through the Bible and we read several times where the children of the East are identified to be Edomites, Midianites, and Ishmaelites, right? So he's called the greatest of the children of the East, and we just happen to read about Edomites being among that. And he lived in Uz, which was an Edomite province. All this can't be a coincidence, people. All this can't be a coincidence. If you really comb through this Bible, you can see that Job was an Edomite and not a Hebrew Israelite, which means that one of the greatest men that ever lived one of the most righteous brothers that ever walked the earth was from the lineage of Esau. I know they made a lot of racist Hebrew Israelites pretty mad, and they don't have some negative stuff to say. You can call me any racial slur you want to. You can make fun of the way I look, but one thing you can't do is refute me in this book. You can't do that, right? Now, let's keep it moving. So let's see some of this. Let's see some of this children of the East wisdom in action, and let's see how it benefited one of the most famous Hebrew Israelites in the Bible, Moses. Let's look at it in action. Let's go to Exodus chapter 18. Exodus chapter 18. How it benefited one of the greatest figures in the Bible. Because you had Moses, right? He was the leader of the nation of Israel. Y'all already know that. But he was getting worn thin because from morning to night, he was answering everybody who wanted to inquire of God. So he was doing it all by himself. So his father-in-law came up with an idea. And his father-in-law is known by two names in the Bible. One is Jethro. The other one is Reuel. And it tells you in the Bible that this guy was a Midianite. In fact, he was the high priest of Midian.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy was a Midianite. So let's see if we got an example of this wisdom coming into play that the children of the East possessed, even when it came to Moses. A lot of folks don't even know that how Israel was set up was inspired by a non-Hebrew. We're going to read that right now. Let's go to Exodus 18, and we're going to pick it up at verse 17.
Exodus 18 and 17.
Mm-hmm.
And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, the thing that thou doest is not good.
Mm-hmm.
Thou wilt surely wear away, both thou and this people that is with thee, for this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone.
He said, this thing is too heavy for you. You will not be able to perform this alone. That's what he's telling him, right? He said, the first thing he did is told him, what you are doing is not good. It's bad. It ain't working, right? How dare this non-Hebrew Israelite tell the leader of God's chosen people that what he's doing is not good, right? That's the attitude that these racist Hebrews would have, but not Moses. Let's see what he's going to do. Keep reading.
Hearken now unto my voice. I will give thee counsel, and God shall be with thee. Be thou for the people.
He said, listen to my voice, and I will give you counsel. In order to give good counsel, you got to have some wisdom, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the high priest of Midian. He giving him wisdom. Go ahead and read.
Be thou for the people to Godward, that thou mayest bring the causes unto God. And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shalt show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do.
Wait a minute. This is a Midianite saying all this, Antoine?
Sure is.
He's telling Moses, this is how you should do this, right? He's showing that wisdom. This is a non-Hebrew Israelite. You can't deny that. Don't try to make Moses' father-in-law a Hebrew Israelite. Really?
It's right there, verse 1.
But they'll do that. They'll do anything to try to take any type of glory away from a non-Hebrew in this Bible. It wasn't, he was really a Hebrew Israelite. He moved to Midian. Give me a break. Y'all think it sounds funny, but they will do stuff like that.
Well,
we'll go ahead and read.
Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them, to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s, and rulers of 10s. And let them judge the people at all seasons. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee.
Whose idea was this, Antoine?
Jethro, the priest of Midian.
The priest of Midian, a non-Hebrew Israelite. Remember, the children of the East were known for having wisdom. And plus, this man, though he was a high priest to a pagan god, he still had understanding on being over something. Because if you're a high priest, you're dealing with a lot of people.
Yep.
Right? So this man had experience. So he saw Moses, who was green in this area, doing it a poor way. So he gave him a better way to do it. Right? Let's see if Moses is going to listen to this guy. Go ahead and read.
If thou shalt do this thing, and God command thee so, then thou shalt be able to endure, and all this people shall go to their place in peace. So Moses hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law, and did all that he had said.
Wait a minute. Moses did what?
Hearkened to the voice of his father's law, and did all that he said.
So whose idea was this? Was it Moses or was it Jethro's?
Jethro.
It was Jethro's, sisters and brothers, the high priest of Midian. This guy had wisdom. Why? Because he lived in an area that was big on wisdom. They knew about stuff. That's why Moses didn't write him out. Moses said, look, man, God spoke to me. I am the leader of all of these people. The Bible said that Moses was a meek man anyway. So he wasn't arrogant and big-headed like that anyway. But he was like, he didn't say, I am the leader of these people. You are not among God's chosen. I'm sure not going to listen to anything you got to say concerning how to deal with his chosen. Isn't this the attitude that these racist black Hebrews have today?
Mm-hmm.
But Moses didn't have that attitude because apparently Moses knew that the children of the East had wisdom and that even he, a person who God spoke to directly and had and performed signs through, could learn from this guy. That says a lot, sisters and brothers. But they will never tell you these things. But they want you to believe that God ain't ever dealt with nobody but Israel. You follow what I'm saying? Job was not a Hebrew Israelite. And yet, when you read the book of Job, God is very intimately dealing with Job, especially to the end of it, right? But we're going to keep this moving. Let's check out Job's friends. What about Job's friends? Because surely if he was an Edomite, then his friends would either have to be Edomite or from some other nationality among the children of the East, right? That makes sense, don't it?
Yep.
We're going to look it up. Let's go to Job chapter 2. People get mad. People are probably grinding their teeth right now. Probably got a permanent scowl on their face because of what I'm showing y'all right now. And the only thing me and this brother have done so far is just tell you the truth. A lot of people don't know the truth. They don't want this to get out because it destroys their little Esau is going to hell in a handbasket lie. So they try to distract you and divert your attention away from the truth by doing stuff like calling me Uncle Tom or doing videos where they making fun of me. They even did a video where they were drawing pictures of me. Drawing cartoons of people. I mean, come on, these are grown men. And they have resorted to name-calling and drawing pictures of people. I remember when I was in the 3rd grade, and I'd have a little crush on a girl or whatever, or me and my friends used to make fun of each other. We draw pictures of each other. That's childish. That's what these guys do. These are grown men in their late 30s, early 40s, and 50s, and 60s doing this. That's what they have to resort to. But what else can you do when you're faced with this steamroller of truth? What else can you do? I guess they figure that if I'm going down, I'm going to make fun of him on the way down. I guess that's what they figure, because they can't battle you in this book. Nobody can refute what we're bringing to y'all right now. There's nothing in the Bible that they can use to get out of this. So they'll just do a little song and a little dance, and then they'll try to divert your attention away. But I'm telling you, what they want to tell you to do is, if y'all remember the old Wizard of Oz movie, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Y'all remember that from the old Wizard of Oz movie? You remember that, Antoine? You ever seen the old Wizard of Oz movie?
Yeah.
You know, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Just look ahead. Now, I'm telling y'all to look at the man behind the curtain. Because when you look at the man behind the curtain, you see the truth. And the truth is, the whole Wizard of Oz thing was a lie. That's a hidden message right there in the movie, sister and brother. In other words, what's going on behind the curtain. You follow what I'm saying? And if you look at the movie The Wizard of Oz, just getting off track a little bit, he was meant to intimidate them with all these smoke and mirrors. He was trying to intimidate them, trying to scare them, silence, screaming out loud, and making a bunch of special effects and loud noises and stuff. And then the little dog, her little Toto, just happened to just sniff out to the curtain and pull the curtain back and find out that the person behind the scene was really nobody to fear at all. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. That's exactly what they've been telling you your whole life. Because some of y'all don't start paying attention to the man behind the curtain. And some of y'all don't even start doing what Toto did. Y'all don't start pulling that curtain back and saying the truth. So they get mad. That's what they do. But praise God, people are starting to wake up. Right? But this is Job chapter 2. And we're going to read verse 11.
Josh, just let you know there's a couple more questions in queue. Whenever you're ready, there's a couple more
bring
questions.
them on. Bring them on. Let's do it.
All right, let's go to the people. Let's see what they have to say. 559-515. You're live on Debate Talk for You. You have any questions or comments? Okay, that call just dropped. We just hung up. Let's go to the next person. 210-551. You're live on Debate Talk for You. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question on something that the brother mentioned a few minutes ago when he was saying that Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, he was a high priest somewhere else. And did you say he worshipped a pagan god?
Yeah, the Midianites, they worship the god, I think the god name is Or, the fire god.
Right. Okay. Now, wouldn't that be a conflict if he was worshiping that and the God of Abraham too?
Well, this was before. Remember when Moses first went to Midian and met him. By this time, what we just read back in Exodus, he was worshiping the God of Israel with them. But when Moses first went over there, he was a high priest of Midian. The Midianites did not worship the God of Israel.
Oh, they never heard of another God.
They probably heard of them, but they didn't worship. The Midianites, matter of fact, all the nations were worshiping other gods at this time in history. Even Abraham came from a spot. He came from Ur the Chaldeans, that's Babylon. Even he came from a spot where they were worshiping other gods. They were worshiping Baal.
Okay, it makes a little bit more sense to me now because it was kept hitting me in my mind. You know, the beginning of wisdom starts with fear of God. You know, and with that in mind, I was thinking, well, if they feared a pagan god, then they didn't have the original wisdom, the wisdom of our God.
The Apocrypha also tells you that wisdom comes from experience, too.
Right, so that's what I was fixing to say. If that was the only God they knew, then that means that these guys were well-disciplined men because if they even feared their God, it kept them disciplined. And that's where I was trying to figure out, well, how did he get wisdom enough to give Moses advice when Moses already had been talking to our God? You know what I'm saying?
Well, he gave Moses what is known as practical advice. He didn't give him no advice on these spiritual things. He gave him practical advice. That advice he gave Moses could work with any god that you're worshiping. I could be worshiping the God of the sun, but I still would be experienced in organizing the worship, even though it's worship to a pagan god. What he gave Moses advice on was organizing the worship of God.
Right. Basically, the precepts, you know, the just the discipline, like you said. Okay, with that being said, you also said the brother was reading and he said something about he hearkened to the voice of
Right, he listened to his father-in-law's advice on how to organize the tribes of Israel when they come to him for advice.
Yeah. And did that advice he give him, was it helpful advice?
Yes, it was helpful because if you read in the scriptures, they continue to do it like that. It was organized. Instead of, at first, it was just Moses sitting there, and everybody came to him with questions about God, inquiring of God. And he was the only person there all day, every day. And it was just wearing them out. It was too much for him. So his father-in-law came up with a way of organizing it and adding other people to help Moses, and it gave him more organization, and it lifted the burden greatly off of Moses' shoulders alone. So it was great advice. It did work, and that's how they did it.
Now, this is an important question what I'm fixing to ask you right now. Moses had already been talking to God before Jethro, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or what? Okay.
Well, before Jethro, before Jethro, it tells you that when he was keeping the flock of God, the angel appeared in the bush. This after Jethro. This after
he met Jethro.
Yes,
okay.
That's when he first started talking to God.
Okay. So Jethro gave him this information before Moses actually started talking to God too?
No, this information came long after the children of Israel was in the wilderness and everything. That's when this information, this is after the Exodus. Jethro came to visit. And if you keep reading in Exodus chapter 18, it'll tell you that he left after that. Moses allowed him to go back to his own country.
All right. See, it always throws a red flag in my mind whenever I hear certain words like he hearkened to the voice. Because you know, and he told that to Abraham because you heeded to the voice of the woman, you know. All through the Bible, we got different scriptures where somebody hearkened to another voice, and it reminds me of, you know, when he said, my sheep know my voice, another they shall not follow. And every time somebody else listens to another voice outside of God, you know, normally something bad happens.
True, but if you go back and read in Exodus, look what Jethro tells Moses. He didn't tell him do it. He gave a stipulation with it. We're going to go to Exodus 18 and check this out right here. I want you to pay close attention to this right here.
Yes, sir.
It says right here, in verse 19, it says, hearken now unto my voice, and I will give thee counsel, and God shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to Godward, that thou mayest bring the causes of God. Right? Now look what it says right here. Verse 21. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of the truth. So he's giving them a qualification. They got to fear God. I mean, they got to really believe in God. Verse 23, if thou do this thing and God command thee so, in other words, if God agrees with what I'm telling you to do, if God gives you the okay to do what I'm telling you to do, then thou shalt be able to endure, and all these people shall go into their place in peace. So Moses hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law and did all that he said, and Moses chose able men out of all Israel and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And if you go into Deuteronomy chapter 1 and read verse 15, it shows you that he continued to do that through their travels in the wilderness.
In the wilderness, yep.
And I got to move on to one, too. I appreciate you calling over, brother. Due to time, of course, I got to try to get as much people as possible. We've got another person here. Skype caller. I'm just going to say your first name, John. John, how you doing, John?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, actually. I just had a question, this is, I'm just going to throw this out there. I have a follow-up question. Have any of you guys eaten shrimp?
Nope.
I've eaten shrimp before, yes.
Did you know that in the Bible, God talks about how you should not eat shrimp?
Yeah, and once I found that out, I stopped eating it.
Yeah, but, you still sinned, so technically in the Bible you would be going to hell for eating shrimp.
The Bible nowhere says you'll go to hell for eating shrimp. Where does it say that at?
Well, you just went against God. It's part of the Ten Commandments.
Well, actually, eating shrimp is not part of the Ten Commandments. Eating shrimp is in the dietary regulation.
All right, guys. Got to move on to the next question.
What you should do is just call back, get yourself together, and then call again. No disrespect, but you just all over that place right now, so just kind of just get yourself together a little bit and call back. We'll still be here.
Yeah. All right, guys. Any more questions out there? This person number one, of course. We're running out of time, but I'm going to let you wrap up this lesson pretty much. We've got like 30-something minutes left, so go ahead, brother.
Okay, that's cool. That's more than enough time. Let's go to Job chapter 2 and verse 11. We're going to read about Job's friends.
And for those of you that got questions, stand by. I see there's more questions here, so stand by with us. Let Josh pretty much wrap up the lesson, and then after that, we can take as much questions as possible. All right, go ahead.
Okay, Job 2 and 11. Go ahead and read that for me, Antoine, please.
Job 2 and 11. Now when Job's three friends heard all this evil that was come upon him, they came every one from his own place. Eliphaz the Temanite.
Stop for a minute. Eliphaz the Temanite, right? We're going to break these names down piece by piece, one by one. Eliphaz the Temanite. Let's see who the Temanite, because if he's a Temanite, that means he's a descendant of somebody named Teman. Let's see who Teman was. Let's go to Genesis 36. We're going to go back to Job chapter 2, so hold your spot there, people. Genesis chapter 36. And we're going to read verses 10 and 11. Let's see who Teman was. And they called him friend, didn't it, Antoine?
Mm-hmm. His friend.
Those three friends, right? So they were friends. Okay, go ahead and read.
You said 36 and 10, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Genesis 36 and 10. These are the names of Esau's sons. Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau. Reuel, the son of Beshemath, the wife of Esau.
Mm-hmm.
And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, and Gatam, and Kenaz.
It said the sons of Eliphaz were Teman. So Eliphaz, Job's friend, was a Temanite. Not to be confused with the Eliphaz we're reading about right here. It said he was a Temanite. So Job's friend, Eliphaz, was an Edomite, sister and brother. He was an Edomite. Now, you're going to try to tell me that Job lived in the land of Uz. Lamentation tells you that Uz was an Edomite province. It then tells you that Job was the greatest of the men of the East. We then find out that the Edomites are among the people of the East. Then it tells you that the people of the East got great wisdom, and we read about all the wisdom that Edom had. Then we read a lot of wisdom in the book of Job. Then we go to one of Job's friends, and he's an Edomite. And you're going to try to tell me after all of this, you still doubt Job being an Edomite? Really? He lived in the land of Edom. He had the wisdom of the Edomites. He's identified as one of the great men of the East, which is the name given to the Edomites. And one of his friends is an Edomite. I mean, come on. No Septuagint, no Apocrypha, no Testament of Job. Strictly Bible. So don't let them try to tell you he had to go to all these other books to prove that Job was an Edomite. We ain't went outside the Bible one time.
Oh.
It's all in the Bible. When I go to extra books, it's for edification, not for proving something. I can prove the stuff that I teach without going to Enoch and Jackson. I just do that to confirm it. This is a lot better than going to the Septuagint. We can go to the Septuagint to show you that they knew this, but all the evidence suggests that he's an Edomite. There is no evidence against it. None. Right? So we see who Eliphaz was. He was an Edomite. Let's take a look at Job's other friend. Go back to Job chapter 2.
All right, there.
Job 2, read story from Eliphaz. This story we went to Eliphaz the Temanite. Just read that next name.
Eliphaz the Temanite and Bildad the Shuhite.
Bildad the Shuhite. Now I'm gonna let y'all know, just to save y'all the suspense, that the third friend cannot be identified in the Bible, like where he's from. But scholars believe, and you can look this up in your Bible dictionaries, that the area that he's from, the Edomite, is located somewhere in Arabia. How coincidental, right? So you can't find him in the Bible, but you can find Bildad the Shuhite. Let's see who he is. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 25. Genesis 25. 2 verses. Genesis chapter 25. 2 verses. One and 2. Let's see who this Shuhite is. Go ahead.
Genesis 25. And again, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah. And she
we know the
bare him
Midianites came from her. We know that from those two. Go ahead.
And she bare him Zimran, and Jokshan, and Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua.
And who?
Shua.
Shua. That's who the Shuhites come from, sisters and brothers. If you look that up, that's who they come from. So this other friend was a Midianite, which makes sense because the Midianites are one of the children of the what, Antoine?
East.
And the Edomites also one of the children of the what, Antoine?
East.
So wouldn't it make sense that Job's friends that came to see him would also be from the same area that he is?
Yep. Perfect.
So what you got is an Edomite being visited in the land of Uz, where the Edomites stayed, by a Midianite and possibly another Arab, Edomite, or a Midianite. That's what you got, sisters and brothers. This is right here in your Bible. Just look it up, and it will tell you. There is nothing in this Bible that makes Job a Hebrew Israelite. I know a lot of y'all might be wondering, how in the world did these Hebrew elders even counteract this? They didn't. Just because you make a counter video does not mean you're disproving anything, sisters and brothers. A lot of people make response videos to other people's videos simply to save face. In fact, almost every opponent that I debated on Debate Talk for You has did a follow-up video attacking me after the debate. Now, why would they do that if they figured they won? That's the question. If you figured you won, why are you doing a follow-up video? Because deep down inside you know you lost, so what you're trying to do is save face. I don't know why you would think that would help, but some people got that pride, and they don't want people to know that they lost, so they'll do a video to try to appear strong, like he didn't phase me. I'm still going strong. I'm still teaching this. They think by continuing to teach the falsehood that they're showing strength, when in fact you're really showing weakness. You're weakened by your pride. But let's go to two more fake faces. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm not going to get into all that other stuff I told you about, Antoine. I'm going to say that for another time, all right? We're going to go to Ezekiel chapter 14. We're going to go to Ezekiel chapter 14. And we only got one more after that.
That 14?
It's not really hard, sisters and brothers. And I know a lot of people are mad. That's understandable. You should be mad, but not at me. You should be mad at the people who lied to you. I tell people all the time, I'll use this scenario. If you and I were best friends, and I saw your wife cheating on you, I mean, I got the evidence, I got pictures, I got the camera rolling with her cheating on you, and I show that to you as your best friend, you shouldn't get mad at me. You should be thanking me, because now you can confront her and you won't be getting played anymore. But what type of person would get mad at the person who showed him his wife is cheating on him? That's what they do. I show these people, metaphorically, that their wives are cheating on them and they want to beat me up. No, go beat up the guy that's messing around with your wife. Or go check your wife. You follow what I'm saying? They want to get mad on the person who's trying to help them. Look, man, I saw your wife stepping out on you, man. Here go the evidence right here. Oh, I can't stand you, man. Don't you get, no, you don't get mad at me. So when I show y'all this stuff that your elders have been lying to you about or misinforming you about, don't get mad at me. Go confront him. Don't leave no crazy messages on my channel. Go confront him and ask him to explain this stuff. And if he can't explain to you the scripture, then you already know what you need to do. I don't got to tell you that. So this is Ezekiel 14. And we'll start reading that, let me get that with you. Ezekiel 14 and verse 12. Let's see who Job is named among. This is an Edomite, non-Hebrew. Go ahead and read.
Ezekiel 14 and 12. The word of the Lord came again to me, saying, Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out mine hand upon it, and will break the staff of the bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it.
So he said when that land sins against him, he's going to send famine among that land, right?
Yeah.
And cut off man and beast from among it. In other words, he's going to punish the land. Well, go ahead and read the next verse.
Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver, but their own souls by their righteousness, saith the Lord God.
He said, even if these three righteous men were in it, that was not from destroying the whole city. They will only be able to save themselves by their own righteousness. In other words, what he is saying is, even these three super righteous people will not be able to prevent me from destroying this land. I just spare them if they were in it. But notice, he's naming Job among righteous people like the prophet Daniel and Noah. But Job wasn't a Hebrew Israelite. And you know what? Noah wasn't either. But he named Job as one of these righteous men. Job has a reputation that is throughout this Bible because he was a great man. He feared God and he eschewed evil. But he wasn't even a Hebrew Israelite. He was an Edomite. And they want to tell you that God hates all Edomites and condemning them all to hell. So is Job going to hell? A righteous man that fear God and eschew evil? What I'm trying to figure out is if Esau is the devil and Job was the devil because he was an Edomite, then who was persecuting him? He was persecuting himself?
Yep.
Because it says the devil persecuted Satan, persecuted Job. Why would Satan persecute Job? Why would God brag on the Edomite? You follow what I'm saying? God was bragging about Job to the devil. Why would God brag on the Edomite? And yes, he was an Edomite. We proved that. But let's continue. And like I said, let's go to the last one. Even if you don't want to believe he was an Edomite, that only leaves two other possibilities, an Arab or a Midianite. But the reason why we was able to identify him as an Edomite because it said Uz. And we read in the Lamentation that Uz is where Edom stayed at. Which is why his friends had to come and visit him. James chapter 5. They don't like this kind of stuff, man. Yeah, we upset a lot of people. I know. But you know what? Truth is truth. I really don't care. They can get mad all they want to. But there's people out there who want to know this truth, and I'm going to teach it to them. You don't want to know it? Fine. You don't have to listen to me. Millions of other teachers out there you can listen to. They take this stuff personally because they know that they can't lie anymore without being caught. Because I know there's a lot of people listening right now who have Sal advised, got something to write with, and they taking notes. And they writing all this stuff down. And I'm pretty sure some of them are going to be bold enough to go back to their elders. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure some elders are listening. Right? So they're going to have to try to do their little song and dance either on a Wednesday night Bible study or this Shabbat to try to get this truth out of you. That's why people keep doing the same classes over and over again, relating to past debates that we had. They keep doing it because the people keep questioning them. They're not convinced. So you have to keep doing the class over and over again because you know you're losing your grip on the people. You can't deceive them anymore. They don't start questioning you. What does this mean? What does that mean? The tables don't turn. Every question that people be directed at me, now people starting to question their elders. And I can tell because I can tell by the videos they're starting to do that they're trying to save their congregation from leaving them. That's what they're trying to do. Who in the world will keep doing a class on the same topic over and over again? It just happened to be a topic that I debated them on Debate Talk for You. Why would you keep doing that? Because you're losing your grip. You know, deep down inside, they don't believe you anymore. They're starting to wake up, just like God said they would. But this is James 5, last one. 1 verse, 11. Go ahead.
James chapter 5 and 11. Behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy.
The Apostle James used Job as an example of patiently enduring persecution. This is all in the New Testament, sisters and brothers. Job's reputation lasted through the Old Testament and made it all the way through the New Testament. Yet Job was not a Hebrew Israelite. That has been proven. The man stayed in Edom. He had Edomite friends. He had the wisdom of Edom. That's why he was talking about all that wisdom. That's why when God was condemning Edom, he was talking about the wisdom going with it. You think that's a coincidence that Job is filled with wisdom? As a matter of fact, when you go to any type of Bible that breaks the Bible down into sections, you know, you got like the law, then you got the judges, then you got the history, and then you got the poetry book, and then you got like the books of, also known as the books of wisdom. Job falls under category as one of the books of wisdom, even by modern day standards. So as you can see, sisters and brothers, based on all the evidence given, Job was indeed an Edomite. And we didn't go to a single book outside of the Bible to prove it. Thank you for listening.
All right, once again, you're now tuned in to Debate Talk for You. The title of this show, Job was the Edomite proven from the Bible. My special guests is Brother Josh and Brother Antoine. Of course, you know the number, 877-280-9681. Now is the time. If you have any further questions, just call in. The number is 877-280-9681, or you just want to make a comment. There's people out there actually letting me know via email that somebody calls a dropping, so you can utilize the alternative number, which is 646-716-7320. That's 646-716-7320. Feel free to call in with your questions or comments. Actually, Josh, you still have like about 14 minutes, and right about now, there's nobody with any questions right now. I had some people standing by, but hopefully their questions were answered. So you have a few minutes left if you want to, mention any more.
Okay. Well, that's actually good, because now that I've shown it from the Bible, and this ain't even part of the lesson, let me take you to the place that started it all, because they claim this is the only thing I used to prove this. We're going to go to Job chapter 42 in the Septuagint. This is why they started in the Septuagint. And I'm not in any way using this to prove this. The class is done. You don't even need this to prove that Job was Edomite. You don't need this.
773, just stand by. 77, we have a question actually right now. You want to go and take it now, or you want someone to stand by?
Oh, bring it on in. Let's do it.
Okay, let's take the question. 773-375. You're live on Debate Talk for You. You have a question or comment? 773-375. Yeah, hello? Make sure you lower your speaker. I can hear the echo. Lower your speaker.
Okay, can you hear me, Brother Saul?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother.
Okay, this is Brother DV. I just wanted to touch bases with you, brothers. How you doing, Brother Antoine, Brother Josh?
How you doing,
man, I'm doing great. I'm doing great, man. I just want to comment on the class. It's been a while since I've heard this, but I would just want to say, brother, praise the Lord in the name of Jesus. This was an excellent 5-star class, and I think it should basically open some eyes tonight, and that's what ABT is all about, is just basically opening the eyes of the people, and hopefully they're not afraid to question those people who have been, and you've shown this through just reading the Bible, that people have been misleading people. So those people out there that are listening that have been misled, don't be afraid to question people now. With these scriptures, just take the scriptures down that you heard in this class and ask these elders about these scriptures. I just want to say, brother, praise the Lord. Great lesson. You know I love it. It's one of my favorites, and keep doing what you're doing, and I know you're going to keep doing that. But again, excellent class.
Praise God.
Appreciate that, my brother. We have another caller here. Actually, Brother Josh his call just dropped, actually. Brother Josh, when you get a chance, make sure you press number 1, brother. Once again, the number is 877-280-9681. That's 877-280-9681. Okay, I see you, brother. Yeah, I see you, brother. I got you. All right, so you called just dropped. All right, we have a few more questions, actually. Let's go to the people. Let's see what they got to say. 210-551. You're live on Debate Talk for You. You have any questions or comments?
Yeah, Brother Josh, hearing you earlier talking about the Israelites and everything like that, I have a question about what Jesus said. Not Jesus said, but what they said in the book of Jeremiah 31:31, where he was saying that, about him no longer having to take them by the hand like he had to do Moses and lead them out. When he says you no longer need your neighbor or any man to teach you to know Jesus, he said, you'll be my people and I'll be your God. I'll write my laws on the tabernacle of your heart. What is that actually saying, that you no longer need priests?
Well, what this is saying, this is actually talking about a future time period that is yet to be fulfilled. If you go to Jeremiah 31, it tells you right here, it says, behold, at verse 31, starting at verse 31. Can you still hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Notice it didn't say with the Ishmaelites or with the Christians or anything like that. Not saying anything against Christians or anything against Ishmaelites, but the covenant, the old covenant was made with Israel, so the new covenant going to be made with Israel. It said, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, says the Lord. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel, and after those days, says the Lord, I will put my laws in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. If you go back and read in the Old Testament, whenever God talked about putting his law or his word in somebody's heart, it meant they would perform it. They would do it. So he's saying in the future, after he make this covenant, he's going to have the children of Israel doing his laws again. This is in the future. But verse 34 says, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord. For they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord. For I will forgive and remember the sin no more. I don't think anybody will argue that this has not happened yet. We are not at a state in the world as a people or as a world that everybody knows the Lord to the point where we don't even have to ask each other concerning the Lord. This is a time when the earth is going to be filled with the knowledge of the Lord, as it says in prophecy. But that covenant has to be made again with the house of Israel and the house of Judah, and that was kick-started at the Messiah's death. You know, when he did what they call the Last Supper, that was the beginning of that. We're in the process of that right now, but it goes into effect when he actually comes back.
Oh, So that wouldn't necessarily be in effect right now with the Holy Spirit being able to come back and live on our hearts and lead, guide, and direct us.
It's in the process. But remember, he said with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, that is a nationwide thing that we're talking about. Yes, there are individuals who are living this out, but when we talk about this whole nationwide thing being made, like when Israel became a nation, right, it started out with Moses talking to the Lord. And then Moses talked to a few elders. And then a few elders talked to the children of Israel. Then the whole nation knew about the Lord. It's a process. You follow what I'm saying? So, yes, some people have the law in their heart and they're performing it, because you can go to any Hebrew Israelite and they're keeping the laws and they got the faith of the Messiah. I'm talking about the non-racist ones, so they are the process of this. But when it kicks off as like the whole national covenant, that's what you're reading about in Jeremiah 31.
So when Jesus said in Matthew 28, when he was saying, I have been given all the power and authority on heaven and earth, and he said, go out there and teach all nations to baptize in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. He said, teaching them to observe all things which I have given you, and lo, I will be with you even to the end. That makes me feel like he's saying I will be with you, that Holy Spirit will be with you all the way to the end. And when he said, I have been given all the power and authority, that makes me relate that to the part when he said, I will be your God, and you will be my people. He's speaking about the future. So I feel like when he died and he told his disciples, I must leave, I must go so that the helper can come back. That made me feel like he had to leave so that the helper could come back, and that helper would be the Holy Spirit to help lead, guide, and direct us, and that's on our heart. So it's possible that we can be living in that prophecy right now, right?
We're in the process of, like, if you read verse 34, look what it says. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord. Just from your enthusiasm, you sound like a brother that go out and preach. Don't you? Am I right?
Oh, no, only if God, he said, no man come to the Son except the Father draw him. So if somebody comes up to me and I obey.
Do you try to teach the word? Do you try to tell people about the Messiah, Jesus? Do you try to teach the word? Do you do that?
The Holy Spirit do it through me, bro. That's it.
Okay, so at this point in time, it says, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his saying, know the Lord, for they shall all know me. We can all agree that is not happening right now. We can say it's in the process, but that is not happening. It's not at the point where everybody knows the Lord. That's not happening yet. Because if that was the case, nobody would be dealing with these pagan holidays. Nobody would be eating these unclean foods, because the prophecy tells you that when God comes back, he's setting up Old Testament law and putting it in effect just like it was when Israel was a nation. All of that's coming back with this new covenant. It's a lot of stuff that entails this, but I can assure you that verse 34 has not been fulfilled yet.
And thanks a lot for your call, brother. We have like a few more minutes left. And what I'm going to do is, of course, I'm going to let Brother Josh share some information as far as if you have any further questions where you can reach out to the brother. But I'm going to take one more question before we sign off. 440-320. You're live on Debate Talk for You. You have any questions or comments?
Yeah, just real quick. This is Brother LeVar from ABT. How everybody doing?
Hey, what's up, LeVar?
What up, bro?
Cool. What up, Antoine? What up, Sal? Just real quick, Josh had made a real valid point when he said people make these videos as a rebuttal. I remember 3-4 years ago when Josh had this class on YouTube, it was one brother that was trying to make these rebuttal videos. He actually took one down because he saw his error, but then in the process of that, even taking that video down, he said, well, I'm going to make a video proving that Job was in fact an Israelite.
Oh, wow. How did I know he was going to call in with this? I thought I was safe. I thought we were going to get through the night. Go ahead, man.
My question is for Josh. Have you seen that video get put up yet?
No. To my knowledge, I don't really follow the brother's channel like that, but to my knowledge, no, I haven't.
This is the inside thing that me and Josh got going on for like the past 4 years. I'm like,
really?
Man, I wait for that brother to put that video, and that brother has not put that video up because the truth is the truth. Good job, brother Antoine, brother Josh. Peace to y'all.
Way done. Thanks for calling.
And once again, I really appreciate the people out there. You know, the people that's calling in. I love it. I love when you guys call. I love hearing from the people. So once again, I really appreciate all the people out there that actually had questions and found the time to call in with their questions or comments. And I still see there's people out there, with questions and comments, but pretty much we're at the last couple minutes of the show. So I'm going to let Brother Josh share his information to the listening audience out there where they can find him and, social media and stuff like that. So put out your information, brother.
Thank you, Sal. You can find us mostly, our main outlet is on Pal Talk. We're in the Christianity section under the name Absolute Bible Truth. You can just go on, download the Pal Talk app to your computer, and all the directions on how to get it is real simple. You go to paltalk.com. And once you do that, it's not hard finding us. Just find the Christianity section. We're in there under the name Absolute Bible Truth. We have live classes every week on Pal Talk at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we start around that time. I usually get like a 30-minute grace period for people to show up, you know what I'm saying? But I know people still go to other classes and stuff, so, I try to get them time to show up and get in and hear this word. I'm also on YouTube, youtube.com/Truth Teacher 3010. Again, that's youtube.com/Truth Teacher 3010. You can also find me on YouTube under youtube.com/Bible Reel. That's BIBLEREEL. Again, that's youtube.com/Bible Reel.
Help keep the show on the air. If you want to help, you can send me a donation through PayPal. The email is debatetalkforyou@gmail.com or through Cash App, $Sal Showtime. Thanks for your support.
My name's Kiaja, and if you want to hear the best debates in the world, come check out Debate Talk for You, hosted by my dad, Sal Showtime. Bye.